Today we're going to be talking with Eileen. Her husband just died a couple weeks ago, and so she's dealing with the grief, so we're going to try to help her out. Hi Eileen, how are you today?
Well, I'm doing okay, I guess, but it's pretty much, it's just hard here within the first couple of weeks, just all the little things that you just do every day and you don't really think about. And so, just things like, a lot of mornings, he'd run the bath water to take an Epsom salt bath, and I would do that too a couple times a week. And whenever I am going to do that, then that, is just, it's all these reminders about all these little things. And I always made us green smoothies in the morning. I do a whole blender full of fruits and greens, and that would be the way we would always start our day. And so every morning when I'm trying to continue to do that, it's, I can't help it. It just, I cry sometimes. And I guess the hardest thing so far has been trying to sleep in the bedroom. I've been just staying on the couch at night. I just can't seem to go in there yet and stay the whole night. And I'm sure I'll get past all of that, but just right now it's so I'm trying to think of things that I can do to in those moments, maybe where my evenings are empty, how to try to fill them a little bit to where I won't get into a depression over all this.
Sure.
So those are some of the things that I'm beginning to try to think about. Do you have any suggestions for me?
Well, before we start talking about how to fix things, I want to get a better idea of really what's going on with you and how you're really feeling about all this. So, how long ago did you say that your husband passed?
It was 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago? Okay. Was it sudden, or was it something that you... Tell me a little bit about what happened.
Well, it wasn't sudden, and it was kind of a longer type of an illness that, he had been sick for a while. And so it wasn't sudden. It was, we knew that it was coming. At the same time, it's hard to start dealing with death while you're dealing with all the things that you go through before that happens. And so, I'm sure the things that I'm feeling are pretty normal. I'm sure it's a process that I'm going to have to work through. But I feel like this is part of it, to be able to get some counseling, to share, if nothing else, just have someone that I can talk about all these things, cry if I need to, and because I don't really want to do that with just everyone that I run into,
Sure.
So then another thing is we have business, and I work the business. It's a sub shop, and I'm the primary worker in the business. But when you have that kind of thing, you're always having problems with maintenance and things breaking down, and those kind of things really stress me out because I didn't know how to do any of that.
Sure.
And that's where I get into my busy day, and then realize that one of the make tables was not cooling properly or something, and it's immediate. It's got to be handled, and that's something that I could always call my husband on, and then he would take over from there, and he'd get, I'd continue on with all the things that I needed to do to be ready for business, and then he would pick up and handle. So, there's outside pressures with even the business that create an issue for me of stress that brings on sorrow, and I just want to fold up and kind of sometimes feel like I just want to collapse or walk out the back door and just leave, you know. And I know I can't do that, but those are some of the things. So I'm just really, the loneliness is there. Then there's just the absence of all the responsibilities and things that he carried that are now on me, which is causing, stress and making it really harder for me to be able to deal with just the grief itself.
Sure. No, I understand, and that's what I'm here for, is to be able to talk to you, and so that you can have someone that you know is there to listen, and that you can really be honest with about those feelings. And so always know that in these sessions that you can tell me how you really feel, and we can, if you need to cry, we can cry, and just whatever it is that you need, that's what I'm here for. But it sounds to me like, your husband played a lot of different roles in your life. Sounds like he was like your best friend, and, of course, the person that you love, but also you guys were partners in business, and so, he played so many different roles for you. So is it kind of overwhelming, I guess, to have all of these different...
That's what I feel. I'm just really overwhelmed.
Yeah.
It's, it's sometimes, that's what makes me feel like I want to just walk out the door, but I know I can't,
Sure. Well, so in these past 2 weeks, what are some of the things that you've been trying to do to comfort yourself?
Well, really, I don't think I've really done too much to. I think I'm just going through what I've been going through, and I know that it's going to take time, but I want to. That's what I want to try to get directed, is things that I can do that might keep me from falling into any type of depression or anything like that.
Now, do you feel depressed right now, or are you just worried that the way that you're feeling might lead to that, or how do you...
Well, the only thing that keeps me from being depressed is my ability to avert my attention towards the Lord. And when I can change my focus and think on the things about Him and the heavenly realm, then I'm not focusing on my problems. And so that's the one thing that I do know how to do, and I do that. But then how the mind is; it's always wanting to think about those things that are hurting you or causing, problems or whatever. Your mind's always wanting to take you back there. And if it wouldn't be for the Lord, I'm sure I would be depressed.
Sure.
It would. He's the one who keeps me up. But I think there's probably some things that I need to do to maybe occupy myself or something, like in the evenings when I'm used to going home and cooking for someone, or just I've always been a caretaker, and with him being sick and everything, I've always spent a lot of time, being concerned about him, his health, feeding him right, and all those kind of things. And now it's just empty, It's just.
Well, it sounds like you have a great area of support with your relationship with the Lord, and so I'm very happy that you have that, and I would encourage you to keep relying on that. And like you said, those times whenever you do call on the Lord and don't let your mind start thinking about all of those things, you said that's when you feel the most at peace.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I would definitely encourage you to keep relying on that source of strength, because in these times, that's what we really want to look for, is what can I draw on for strength when you know you feel like you don't have any left. And so I think that's so great, and I know that definitely that relationship that we have with God can bring us through a lot of tough things. And so yeah, like I said, just continue to do that, and draw on that peace. But something else that you said about being, in the evenings, that's the worst time for you. That's when, you really feel that loneliness and notice, I'm here by myself, What are some things that you think might be able to fill your time that you would enjoy?
Well, it just, I'm sure winters will be a lot worse because it gets dark so early. In the spring, summer, and fall, I love to be out in my garden and my flower beds, and and at night, be out there taking care of that and watering and everything. I'm thinking that maybe getting into a regular workout program would help me, and maybe if I do that at night in the evenings, then I might be tired enough to where it will be easier for me to go to sleep.
Sure.
So that's one of the things that.
Oh, that's a great idea. Yeah, and keeping our physical health in good shape is really important. And so if that would also, exercise releases endorphins, and so a lot of times that's a mood booster in itself. And so I think that's great. And like you said, those activities that you enjoy, like working in the garden and all of that, you definitely want to keep doing those things that you enjoy and to not lose out on those. But another question, do you have anyone that you're close to in your family or friends that you may like to spend time with?
Yeah, well, my daughter, she's close by, and of course it's her dad, and so she too is experiencing the loss and what she's going through. So we have that. Sometimes I think it would be good for her and I both to divert away from and have something else that is going to release our minds from the whole situation, even more so than being free to like maybe someone else, a friend, having a friend or something that might help to think about things that listen to things that are going on in their lives. And I don't know. I'm just trying to work through this.
Yeah, well, definitely we'll be, we're supposed to meet again in the next couple of days, and I'd love to continue hearing about how you're doing and how you feel about everything. But I guess before the next time we meet, I would encourage you to maybe get involved in a support group. I know that St. Francis Hospital, they have some women's support groups for widows and for women who have, lost a loved one. And so I would definitely encourage you to maybe check out one of those, and I can give you, the number and the resources and let you get involved in that if that's something that you'd be open to.
I think that would be a good thing. At least something for me to go once or twice and
just check it out.
Just see how I feel being around other people who have had experiences like this.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it would help me.
Okay. Well, how about that? Let's go ahead and get you plugged in with a support group and see how that works out for you. And then, like I said, when we meet a couple of days from now, you can tell me about that experience and how you're continuing to do, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks, Eileen. It's good to talk to you, and I'll see you again next week.
Okay.
So thanks.
Okay.